coming out
to come
strong
in.
on this patch note show. We got our voice actor or actress,
Yes,
Blue.
first
So this is going to be Luna in game. Well, part of the noises you're going to hear. So very excited to have her in studio on patch notes. She's the star of the show, actually.
Hands down, easily the star of the show.
Absolutely.
And then Romanova, this is your first time here, so why don't you go ahead and tell people what you do?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So I am Romanova. I am your new community specialist on Paladins. It's been a great ride so far. I previously am a QA analyst, so the cool thing about this position is I'm constantly looking and seeing the different issues that the community's having and just making sure that they get reported as fast as possible to our QA team to investigate. So the better your repro steps, the quicker we can look into stuff. So keep that in mind, folks, but keep up the good work because we really appreciate it.
It has been a great ride so far.
Well, as you said, you come through QA, a lot of things coming through. I'm going to be distracted by a dog probably 3 times, but that's actually really,
Don't
really
talk
convenient.
about Kevin that way.
He's going to
We're killing
distract me a
it
little bit too. Either way, it's going to be really, really fun. But bug fixes galore. Once again, the hunt is going to be the first thing that we come through and talk about. And the hunt has been this prerogative this entire year to go through, track down, and let you know about things we already know about that need to be fixed or things that we are fixing for this update. And so I will leave this to both of you to be able to come through, Romanova and Kevin, to just go through and talk about the bugs and fixes.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna do this in alphabetical order.
Okay, sounds good.
Run down the list. We're gonna go with champions, like changes, fixes first, right? So we're gonna go with Androxus. So with Androxus, we fixed an issue with sleight of hand where the card would activate regardless of ammo count, whether Nether Step was used for the first time after respawning or entering a match, as well as we improved the Androxus dash.
Yeah,
I didn't play Andros,
we
I have no
actually
idea.
made a bug fix to remove the ability for Androxus players to be locked out of their ultimate. By doing that, we added a little bit of delay to the dash. Obviously, this caused a number of other issues with players feeling
No
that
longer
Androxus was a
semi-automatic.
little bit unresponsive
Right, okay.
when you're trying to dash and shoot. We hot fixed, and we had believed we had removed that delay on all abilities other than a slight delay before the ult. Unfortunately, we missed a little bit, so Androxus should be back to feeling 100% if you felt like it's been any different on this next patch.
Yeah, should be back
Maximum fire rate
to
decrease from
good.
5 to 36.
All right, we're going to go down the list again. We're going to Atlas. So banished players will no longer gain or lose champion-specific resources for the duration. And now you can properly equip default weapon skins with the default skin. So good stuff there. Going into Cassie. So we fixed an issue where her foot and arm would appear broken in the champion menu. So
She's like really good at yoga. Like twisted 180.
I didn't even know that was
knows
a
how to
thing. That's
stretch.
funny.
Yeah,
She's good.
She's been hitting yoga for a while now.
But we fixed her. She's not going to scare anyone anymore. So next we'll get into Dredge. So with Dredge, we fixed an issue with Kraken where character movement would not update the trace location properly, which resulted in the ability originating away from your crosshair.
Yeah, so just to give a little insight on this, if players play Dredge regularly, they probably notice instances where they feel like their Kraken wasn't releasing where their crosshair was. Just to give a kind of insight into that, there's a slight delay, about a 200 millisecond delay from when you actually activate the ability that allows Dredge to kind of further aim and refine it. Unfortunately, though, while your mouse crosshair was updating the trace appropriately to where it should go, if you were actually strafing left or right or doing movement through that, it wasn't. So that would result in a lot of instances of if a Dredge is retreating or moving or trying to dodge, the trace would not actually fire where your crosshair was.
Why
So,
put a delay on
all
it?
of those instances should be fixed, and now
Take the delay off.
Kraken should release where you expect it to.
Yeah, release the Kraken. And then the last thing
Sure,
for
the armor
Dredge
should go where you
is
just aimed it, right?
same with how we had it for Atlas. We can now properly equip default weapon skins with the default skin for him. And we're going to get into Grover. So for Grover, now
Hey, they
crippling
might fix
throw
him.
is now properly reduced by resilience.
Yep, that was a mistake. Now working appropriately. Also, something we actually don't have on patch notes here that I do want to talk about is that his radius, his heal aura radius, was not actually updating appropriately to both his new base when we changed it a few patches ago, as well as the Verdant Expanse card that increased it. So now that VFX
Yeah, that's
aura
been
will be, you'll see the
bug for
true
ages.
size of Grover's healing radius once you get in game, especially with Verdant Expanse 5. So should now be
Anyway, sorry for
now you
anyone
should be able
listening.
to easily see what the range of Grover's heal is.
Yeah.
That's
Good
their
boy,
bug, by the
Grover.
way. Like the
We're gonna
buzzing
go
is not
next
me.
into Amani.
That's
So
them,
Imani's
for some reason.
dragon no longer T-poses and persists in the world after death.
I don't think we should have fixed that one.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. You know, some fixes they're great, but you know, who doesn't like the T-posing the dragon, right?
I
mean,
played Amani
gameplay-wise,
loads,
I
and
guess
I've never
the
had that
dragon's
issue.
just,
That's
sitting
weird.
there on the point. It's a little bit
Must be
bad.
like some
But,
sort of
yeah,
special
it's
thing
fun.
just
happening.
hanging out.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then we're gonna go into Makoa. Barrier Reef now activates multiple times in the same instance of Shell Shield.
Yep, it was only activating once. Now activates multiple times. So nice little fix there.
Yep. We have a couple to get through for Moji. So for Moji, the first one's really humorous, I guess, in a way, because
gonna make him
it
this
could
shit.
be a little scary to see. But we restitched Cuddly Moji's left eye so it no longer sinks into itself.
That was a
You
little bit
know,
odd.
Ugh,
that,
what?
that could haunt you in your dreams a little bit, but we're good now.
It's cute.
It's cute, yeah, it's cuddly. So we also fixed an issue where Moji would continue to use familiar spray while silenced, as well as we fixed an issue where Moji could see third-person VFX such as Hunter's Mark or Mending Spirits in first person.
Yep, and that's actually the opposite. It was so we miswrote that on patch notes. She will still have access to familiar spray while silenced because it's an in-hand ability instead of an actual like normal ability, or it's an in-hand attack instead of a normal ability. So it was being silenced inappropriately.
So
Okay.
Moji fixes in. We're going to skip down the alphabet, going right into Shaolin. So with Shaolin, Reticle now blooms while jumping, and we also fixed an issue where explosive arrows would slow Shaolin after they hit.
Yep, annoying bugs now fixed.
Yep. Strix, we fixed an issue that allowed players to unintentionally break the weapon swap between for the animation between pistol and Talon rifle.
Yeah, you would get a basically an instant fire without zooming in, no spread weapon shot on Talon rifle by basically firing and swapping at the same time, breaking an animation. Now no longer the case.
Ooh, exploit.
All right, and we're almost through the end of the characters here, but Torvald, we fixed an issue where when polymorphed with his personal shield active, his shield would no longer visually display for the remainder of the game, and also no longer retains his personal shield while polymorphed.
Yep. The mechanic.
I wonder
of
if they
polymorph,
fixed Yanis's
Torvald
thing.
should not have had his personal shield remain. No longer the case.
Yanis, if you heal somebody
And
as they
for
die or
Vivian,
something, there's like a
we
bug
have,
where it looks like you've
Joyless
healed them the whole
Eyes
time, but you
card
don't have a
now
heal on.
properly updates the VFX ring on deploy to match the increased area.
Exact same thing we did with Grover. VFX aura wasn't being updated properly.
And last but not least, we have Ying, where just a little bug here. Replicant Ying now plays the correct VFX on low particle settings.
Yeah, it was just the different color. I think it was purple when it's supposed to be blue. So that's not what you were supposed to see. Now Roland, our VFX guy, has cleaned that up for you guys.
Yep, little stingy thing, all fixed now. So we're just going to run through real quick so we can get to the rest of the show here, folks.
these out.
Some general ones, going to knock them out of the park here. So we cleaned up some environment in the Shattered Desert that players were able to improperly look through. The ad refer now sends players to the correct webpage, sending you
Important.
to the right place.
Yep.
Always very important. Players can no longer access the item purchase menu after the top play preview. Options menu dialogue between escape and interacting with the exit button is now consistent.
Yeah, so when you would hit escape versus hitting the X in the upper right-hand corner would actually bring up two different menu prompts. Now those are one for one the same.
Okay. And
that's good.
the achievement, Citizen of the Realm, it was not able to be completed after logging in for 7 days consecutively.
Yes.
And that is fixed now, so you can get that
Hey.
achievement. Great. And
What about
we
the
fixed an
God
issue where cards that
champion
activated
levels?
off kills or eliminations would not activate multiple times if players were killed by the same instance of damage. Those including Impact for Eevee, Watchful for Androxus, One Man's Treasure for Barrack, Stomping Grounds for Buck, Fearless Leader for Fernando, Rolling Stones for Ainara, Inheritance for Leanne, Feed the Spirits for Maldamba, Peppy for Moji, Primal Might for Tyra, Just Believe for Willow, and Encouragement for Ying. And we also fixed instances
hell's
of
all that?
clipping, pesky clipping bugs, with the 8-bit mount on the following champions: Ash, Bomb King, Buck, Cassie, Drogos, Fernando, Furia, Grok, Grover, Ainara, Genos, Lex, Makoa, Maldamba, Moji, Ruckus, Shaolin, Tyra, and Vivian.
Yep. Number of bug fixes in this one.
Yep. And we hear you guys loud and clear. Trust us. We are constantly on work, on the job here, right?
Fucking reply on social
and,
media then.
Last but not least, just the last section is stuff that's under investigation. We hear you guys and gals out there. We hear you and the issues that you're having right now. One of the biggest ones is definitely that lag issue with the EU and Latin America. That is under investigation. We are looking into a way to fix that. It is top priority, so please hang
Lag
in there
issue
with
between
us,
the
and we
American
appreciate
EU.
everything.
I mean-
The reports help, videos, everything that you guys have been doing. It helps with this investigation, and we are getting to the bottom of it as soon as possible. We also have just some minor terminus issues under investigation, such as his ult
yeah.
in certain situations not working, as well as
Take him out
him
of the
getting
game.
into a bug state with certain abilities where they aren't fully animating. And then we constantly see a lot of friends lists disappearing. That is something that usually fixes itself, but we want that to be consistent, so you don't have
Have
to
you
worry
fixed
about that in
custom
the future.
lobbies?
So we are trying
That's
to
the
work our
question.
way through there
On
to make
everyone's
sure that
mind.
just doesn't happen anymore, and that it's constantly there. So that's about
Yep.
all I have for the
That's
hunt.
that's all the hunt.
That's still
That's
buzzing,
awesome.
man.
Just a small section.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, it's funny because as much as like the hunt normally would cover, I'd
Yeah.
say like it's usually a third of the update show.
Mhm.
This one's like even as big as it can be is a little smaller because of the content we have coming
We got
forward.
a lot of things today.
You know, another big change that is happening this one that is not champion related, but I'm like thoroughly excited for this. I didn't realize how excited I would be over something like this because it seems kind of small, but it's going to be,
No,
I think,
yeah.
impactful. And it is that we are introducing map rotations.
Yes, for ranked exclusively, I think it's important to say
Yes.
here, we are going to now have a ranked map rotation for every split that we come out. So that's going to be every 2 months. We're going to be rotating maps. We're going to have 10 active and 4 reserve to start. We have 14 total maps now. Obviously, with that
Right,
total
okay.
number of maps, it's hard to see everything. We feel like it was a little bit too much, and now we can kind of refine what maps we want players to focus on in a ranked split. So for this first split, split 4, we're going to have 10 active maps. It's going to be Bazaar, Ascension Peak, Warder's Gate, Jaguar Falls, Fish Market, Shattered Desert, Bright Marsh, Serpent Beach, Frozen Guard, and Splitstone Quarry. And then we have
I hate
4 reserve
Fish
maps,
Market.
which will be Stone Keep, Frog Isle, Ice Mines, and Timbermill. So you will not see those 4 maps specifically in ranked only for the 2 months of Split 4.
Also, an interesting talent change that is going to come through, which is completely, like, it's a complete change.
Yes. So if you've been following us on social media, you've probably heard this already.
They've renamed it.
Androxus,
What change?
and this is actually an AOC request, mostly driven through a lot of community feedback wanting Androxus' old revolver to return. We like how his revolver is at base now. We think it's good for him, but we do want to give players the ability to kind of access that more high skill cap. Slower fire rate, higher recoil revolver. So you can see it in here right now. It's going to be doing a lot more damage. We have increased the damage from 520 to 600. It does not lose accuracy when it's fired. Its maximum fire rate has decreased from 0.5 seconds to 0.36.
Wait, why would they
and
bring
it's
this
no
back?
longer semi-automatic. So all you old Andro mains, go rampant once we release this.
Andro was disgusting with
It's
this.
going to be, I think, big. There's so many players I know that, again, they main Andros still, but it was
Yeah.
like they started
Yep.
a while ago. They played on this old weapon. They got good with this old weapon. So
And it's
maybe
important to
sure
note
there's a
that
reason
this
why they
is
took that out.
100% identical to what it was before when it
Yeah.
comes to fire rate, damage, and accuracy loss. So you're going to get exactly what Androx's
Same
revolver
feel.
was before.
Andro is going to be
exact
so
same.
nasty.
That I think
though.
is going to be interesting. That's actually one of 2 that's going to be happening, with the other one was a little later. Before that, we jump into Cassie, who's having a talent change and a card change. The card change is more internal cooldown, like you mentioned earlier with the bug fix. You fixed her flexibility. She can't somersault as well anymore.
That's exactly
But
what it was.
Big game is getting a little bit of, it's getting reined in, is the better way
Yeah,
to word
so
it.
Big Game, obviously a very powerful ability, very
Finally, Jesus,
strong
Cassie's Big Game's a
anti-frontline
piss
mechanic,
take.
but for 6
I hate
seconds
it.
that window was way too long, really to justify it. Cassie felt like, or excuse me, on the other side of that, if you are a frontline that gets hit by disengage, it just feels like you can't do anything for 6 seconds. You have to retreat,
Yeah.
and also Cassie has
It's
so many
annoying.
windows to hit multiple shots on you to finish you off. This kind of brings that window down, makes it more reliant on Cassie being accurate instead of just having 6 full seconds to hit bonus damage shots.
And as I said, like, you know, cooldown overall for somersault is getting increased, the internal cooldown for it, and that's just to kind of keep her from getting away as
Yeah,
often,
so
right?
this is a change. We've slowly pushed Cassie kind of towards
Nice.
these changes where
Nice.
really a lot of her strength relies in not just her
Yes,
damage,
nerf
but her
Cassie to the
ability
ground,
to
please.
get away very quickly.
God, I hate her.
She has a 5-second cooldown movement ability that instantly translocates her and is hard to track for unless you're a very high skilled player. And then she has a card, Somersault, that allowed you to reset that dash, and you're getting somersaults like 3-4 times in a single 1v1, which was a little bit too much, too defensive. So we increased the internal cooldown of somersault, so when flanks are actually able to break the line, get to actually flank Cassie, it doesn't feel like she's able to dash away and create that distance.
Well, and speaking of flanks, Koga's actually the next one on the list.
Yep.
He's getting brought up a little bit to match some of the other flanks. It's going to be his old charge rate is getting an increase at base, so he'll just inherently have this. And because of that, you're having to change around a little bit with Blood Reaper as talent.
Yeah, so we've done a number of adjustments to Koga as we've gone along. He was really strong on release, very frustrating to play against. We kind of reined him in. And then now we're kind of giving him some love back to some stuff that we were a little bit hesitant to make powerful on his release. And this is another AOC request. Jay Flair actually made note of this specifically. So Koga, when we released his ultimate, it was a big AoE for a flank that could shred supports if they didn't have a movement ability. Very powerful, so we had to put a number of restrictions on it. One, it charged slower. Another, he's locked out at the beginning of it, so players can get away. But now, with kind of where he's fallen in the meta with his other shifts, we felt like he can get his ult back up to, I think, a normal flank standard. So we have increased it by 40%, which is it's a very large number.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how Koga plays out with that.
And because of that, Blood Reaper's been changed now, so it doesn't increase the charge rate because he just got the charge rate increased, but you'll be able to move faster, so it'll be a little easier to chase people down as they're getting away.
You'll still
from
have
you.
that lockout at the start, but it's a little bit more flexible for Koga that he doesn't need to like ult right next to a player and to be able to kind of chase them down.
You'll finally be able to catch up to those pesky, I guess, other flanks at that point who are going really fast, but pretty much anybody. And, well, other flanks, speaking of them, Lex is coming through, and I'd mentioned with Androxus it was one of 2 changes. Lex is the other one getting his old weapons back.
Yep, again, another change to old school Lex. Players really like that weapon. AOC kind of expressed that. The community was really wanting them back. So, again, because of the talent system, we're able to give that back to you. Same stats as it was before, and just as an overview, it's no longer semi-automatic. Time between shots has increased from 0.35 seconds to 0.7 seconds. The damage has increased from 320 to 680, and the ammo count has been reduced to 6, and then no longer loses accuracy when fired. So you're going to see some big damage shots coming out from Lex there. You see
1,020 headshot.
Way more impactful when you're able to connect with enemies.
And I'm interested to see
He's like
how
an
this is going
Andro,
to play out,
but
because this is one, like, I again, old weapons, when you play them, Lex has always felt really fun.
Whoever's
to me, so
playtesting
I'm
this can't
excited
aim
to
for
be able to
shit.
get in and play deck lessons.
High skill cap players, I think, are going to really enjoy this.
They're going to love it.
Yes.
And the next one that's on the list, as you see those, I'm going to rattle this one off myself. It's just Leon's getting a change, and it's just that Enlightenment, which can hit multiple people. It's not going to be affected by Blast Shields, so really just kind of making sure that those work, I guess, as intended.
Mechanic cleanup.
And then Maeve comes through, and this is another one that's kind of a mechanic cleanup, because this was actually, I think, a big debate at one point. Was
TC immune targets are no longer affected by this ability. Wait, what?
And what should it affect, and what should it not affect?
Yeah, so Midnight is a very unique ability, and we have to decide whether it is CC or not CC. So we already have it affected by resilience, and this is not a hard CC in that it's stopping your movement, but it is unique in that it's really restricting your ability to move around, right? Like, unless you are a player that has played enough I've memorized the map and I know exactly where it is, it feels like a CC to players because of how strong that ability is. So it's already affected by resilience, and now, just to clean up the mechanic for it, CC immune targets will also be immune to Midnight now.
What?
So you're going to be able to go through. I'm interested to see if counter ults are going to come through, where it's just like, I just don't want to be midnighted right now.
You can. But then obviously you're trading an ult for an ult, so we feel like it's something like that's probably worth it.
And it's a pretty fun balance, because that's also one that it's affected by resilience already, so it's just kind of more in line.
But usually
with that. It is a CC, so it's being affected by things that.
If Maeve ults, it's because you're about to do something, like your team's going to do something. So if they ult as well, I mean, it is a big counter. Maeve literally doesn't have an ult. It's already affected by resilience. Now ultimates can affect it as well, like immune ults.
Her collision size is too large.
May as well just say Maeve has no ult.
Slightly rein that in, so she should.
Everyone's going to counter that now.
A little bit more safe.
And I know we have a couple pro teams here already in the studio, and I think I can hear them already shouting with joy, because Pip is next on the list, and it's a card that has been kind of harped on a lot.
They
It
haven't
doesn't come
fixed
through
Maeve's
often, but when
knife
Pip is played,
reset, though.
Moxie is 100% going to be in the loadout.
Yes.
And so it's, again, getting reined in.
So Moxie, we're nerfing it, right? So you're going to receive 6% increased healing per stack when below 50% health. And the big reason for this, right, is that this is kind of compounding upon a really powerful thing that Pip can do naturally, which is not many supports, or really no supports, have the ability to heal themselves.
Yeah.
Quickly, instantly, in a burst fashion. Maldamba has his gourd, but obviously that's tick healing over time. It's slow. So Pip has this
can be a flank with massive
ability
healing like that.
to instantly heal himself for a large portion of his health, and then we just amplify
Everyone's
that.
complaining in the
He's
chat.
almost getting a full life bar.
Bro, Pip's disgusting.
Back. Sometimes,
Like a
he
flank
was
Pip.
basically
Or a 1-on-1
1v1ing, you get
versus
him low, and
Pip.
then he's just like, oh, I'm full again.
And he didn't even care about
and he doesn't have to
cauterize.
aim it. He just looks at the ground and he just presses the button, and it was way too powerful for the effect, and it was just the
Yes,
card was
it's
amplifying
annoying.
an already natural benefit that Pip gains due to his kit.
And so now it's one of those things, especially because like I think a lot of people would look at it with
I
cauterizing
agree with
like
this nerf.
90%, all of a sudden became 40%. You could just be like, cool, well that healing doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna full tank it. So that's getting brought down. So instead of 10% per tick up to 50%, it's only gonna cap off at 30%.
It's like how bad it is when you get a tank to like 1 HP and then they get Furia
I guess
beamed.
if you're a Pip main, maybe you're gonna feel that.
It's
one.
like that, but
Probably
on
not that
himself,
much.
and he
Not
can
as much
flank
as
you and he
people
can
would
win
like
any
you to,
1v1
but either way,
practically.
it's going to be interesting. Willow.
I'm glad
is
he's
the
getting
next one
enough.
on the list, and I'm always excited when I see Willow's name. Pretty much
so
anyway.
This is a big one. I've read a
Willow.
lot of feedback about Willow. And again, this is an AOC request.
Ooh,
so
buff on
Willow
Willow.
as a whole, before we get into like the details of it, is a very powerful character that when she's meta, can really define it, right? She has this, what we did a while ago was remove like Death and Taxes and other anti-caught abilities, or cauterize abilities and cards from kits, because it kind of threw off the scale of the game, or the flow of the game, because you're getting these really powerful effects that normally are reserved for late game at round one.
Some people in the chat
Kind
like
of
begging for
almost made
looking at the new
healers,
Eevee skin and
non-existent.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you
when
want
they
them
had
to
deal with
fix the
it. So
bugs.
Willow specifically
Stop
also has
crying
an
about the
ability
skins
that
for a
says
second.
100%
Jeez.
anti-heal.
Yep.
And this can be a really powerful effect, so we want to be careful. We don't want to just give her a ton of damage.
Buffs and
because we feel
debuffs
like that
and
will push her
bugs
to the
are
very
very
strong.
important
We
in
think that she's
comparison to
kind of on the
skins.
edge,
Skins,
and really just want
you
to
know, like
give
fund
players,
them, I guess, but
a better feeling of control with this character, because right now she
I mean,
feels a little
you
bit
ain't gonna wanna
clunky
play the
move
game
around
if it's
with, I
buggy
think,
as hell, right?
Very slow.
Why is
very
everyone
easy to
crying
pick
about
up.
skins?
So, start off. Sorry for my monologue there.
Oh no, it's good.
Wand of Overgrowth, we've reduced the max fall-off damage, or increased it, I'm sorry. It now scales up to 50% of weapon damage, up from 30%. So when you're hitting players on side, it used to only do 30% damage. Now it's doing 40% damage. So if you're not directly connecting with players,
Damn.
you will do up to 10% more damage if they're just on the edge. So it's a very slight increase to that.
Yeah.
The big one here is we have increased the range of
I
flutter.
actually
So
enjoyed
this
playing with it.
ability for a long time has felt a
Increased the
little bit
range,
slow.
nice.
Doesn't really feel
Okay.
like you get a good amount of movement speed
I like
for
that.
it.
I do like that.
This new ability with Flutter, you're going to be able to get a lot more height, a lot more distance. You can see no cards. This is just base Flutter right there. Also,
That's
this
actually
is a
kinda
big
cool. I
effect
like
on
that.
maps we found out. Previous
Finally.
locations that Willow would have to walk up and get around, like she can actually move from big points of maps to another, and stay on high ground locations, which is one thing she's always struggled with, is kind of getting the height to actually make a blaster rocket launcher character feel good.
Yeah.
And we think this will allow her to kind of get that distance and be a little bit more weapon.
Wait, she's
friendly.
getting that very
And
fast.
all these changes
Holy
seem to
shit.
fit like perfectly
Well, they
with what
just
you
running
just said,
cool
right?
dance.
Where it's just like, cool, you're making the weapon feel a little bit better for being a blaster. You're making the wings work a little better now. So she's gonna come through. She understands how to fly a little better.
Yes. And speaking of fly, Fae Flight has gotten a big upgrade. Anthony, you just want to do a quick jump there? Yeah. So you can see now that the turning capabilities of this ultimate are way better, much more easy to
Okay.
use. Can you actually use Flutter into the ultimate here? I think we'll kind of show a good notice of this. Stay in 3P here too. So we've basically reduced the deacceleration that she had when turning. That kind of took
She's
her
gonna
a
be
little
so
bit long
annoying to shoot out of the sky, man.
Actually get.
I mean, she kind of needs that though. Hit scans are like AIDS.
She had deacceleration when turning, specifically.
the
that made
blasters
it
are AIDS.
slow to actually change directions, and we have reduced that, so she still has that slight delay, but it feels way more controllable
massacred my
for
Maeve.
the player. And we think with the
And they
change to
buffed the
Flutter,
blaster.
a slight better feel to the weapon, and Fae Flight itself, feeling much more controllable, that Willow's going to be in a great spot.
Illusory mirror, but haven't been doing as much based on her auto attacks, but this is going to help her out a little bit more in like the damage department.
It's just illusionary mirror is just weak right now, so we've reduced the fall off, so her weapon doesn't feel like you're just kind of like throwing bubbles at people at anyone past 50 yards. That's kind of what it felt like. You're like, here, take 20 damage. I'm like, oh, okay, I tickled them.
That's a minor inconvenience. How dare you?
So at range, she feel a little bit better. It's not a massive change, but just going to give her that extra little bit of weapon damage for fighting people at longer distances.
A little bit more.
And with that, I think focusing lineage is also getting a little bit more damage kind of topped off onto it, just to, again, make it feel a little better.
The ability's weak. It's like a 5 or 6% win rate below what Ying's normal win rate is. The damage just really wasn't impactful enough, and so it's been increased from 150 to 200 when you hit all your bursts.
Well, I think it's going to be fun. That does actually end up concluding a new battle pass that is going to be coming with this update as well. Yep. This is one that, I mean, very timely considering we're right at the end of June coming into July here, but also really, really good because I think, like you have said, Thunderbreath, a lot of people have been asking for skins like this for a while.
Yes. The Shore Patrol Kinessa and as well as with the other skins, we really wanted to incorporate some group feedback because this was really meant to be an event kind of for the fans. So we wanted to make sure we were kind of hitting the right target. And Kinessa hadn't really had a skin where basically shouldn't
Who asked for this?
Quite some time, and yeah, this one just came out fantastic.
So like every lifeguard, she's armed with a knife.
She is armed with a knife.
To make sure that everyone comes down.
Sometimes. Just got to keep people in line at the pool.
Makes some water noise after the pool.
And finally you had a decision.
Yeah, we kind of landed on the decision pretty quickly from the fan feedback, but I kind of wanted to hold the final result till, as you see it here.
I feel like that's going to be really loud in game now.
Shoutouts to the water.
You're going to hear that from
the water sounds, and I just want to how hard that water has to be coming out to deal that much damage. Like that stinks.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel great.
Do you know who you're
Yeah, the weapons and audio VFX really all came together, kind of sell that this is a water gun, and just feels awesome.
They didn't change the landmine, I don't think.
Gun for Kinessa.
This is out there for me too.
The VFX are incredible though.
I mean, you go for the head.
I love skins like this. Like this is going to be one of the battle passes that I know I'm immediately going to start going into because I always love like water and summer-based skins, and I'm sure a lot of the community obviously agree since they were requesting a lot of this. And this is probably like, again, this is the instant unlock. This is what you get just for getting the battle pass. So if you want this, it is immediately there for you.
Going into this kind of round of art, we were a little concerned on how we were going to kind of execute the feeling of water tanks on these kind of water guns, but Adam, our weapons lead, and his team really kind of just nailed it.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, they feel right, and it's kind of a hard thing to make a toy gun.
I was going to say
I like the look of it
they
though.
don't feel like cheap plastic, I guess is the best way to describe it. Like
this
it looks
is your
like
high-end water gun.
This is high fidelity.
This is the Lambo of water
This isn't like the $1 water gun that you happen to get because you begged your mom for it on the way out. This is like the birthday present water gun.
Yeah, this is the kid on the street that no one likes because he always gets the most powerful like water gun during summer, and he's just like spraying everyone and unstoppable.
Could have done something with the landmine though.
It's got a ton
It's
of
like
fun
part of the
water
kit,
effects,
obviously.
and that is actually going to be something else that comes with this. Not only is the skin instant unlock, but it also comes with a loading frame at the very initial unlock. You can see it right there. A nice little sandcastle, beach-themed loading frame.
An adorable avatar there, too, that is also included in the Battle Pass, Leon.
The sunset.
Is that
that's an animated avatar, too.
Shore Patrol Koga.
As well as that kind of stuff. There we go.
There he is.
By popular fan request, that shirt finally came off.
It's got like a little.
I like his tattoo.
Everything I wanted in a
thing.
Koga skin.
You know, we do a
His
lot of
knife.
splash arts, but this one just came in so easily and just really nailed the attitude just right out of the gate.
I'm trying to decide whether the voice lines or his hair is pulling me in as which one more. Because I love the hair, but it fits, I guess, perfect surfer dude. Koga dude.
Also, shoutouts to I believe
That's actually a kind
this
of cool
was a
skin. I
mix
like
of
that.
Charles and Garrett who
That's
wrote
funny.
this. Charles,
That is
the infamous writer of Americon, if you love that one. So we think a lot of people are going to like this voice back.
And once again,
Oh, nice.
the water sound, the effects, everything about these guns so far has been phenomenal. And like you were saying earlier, like having to make it feel like the water tanks are there and like have the feel of a water gun while still shooting like an actual gun, like
Ooh, that's
that's
cool.
impressive.
Oh no, we were happy to go.
Who's playing the game? Like, is he throwing this off surfboard things?
Also, like most of your lifeguards, well, slice you down if need be.
Yeah. Yes, I'm here to to rescue you. Do not resist.
Fun on the beach with a water gun, and then just in case he needs it,
Go into that bus and let me know what it looks like when you're using your free.
Like a bigger hero, so and you don't have to talk about how he gets.
That's cool.
The dash looks phenomenal, and I have been told, and I know Strix is about to do this. The ult line is fantastic.
It's perfect. No spoilers, but we need to hear it in game for sure.
Is there an energy command? Because he looks like he's trying to play it in.
You're already dead, bro.
I think there's like 8 VGS lines with Braaa in them too.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Oh no.
Oh.
So you want to know the worst part of playing in development builds is that GMs have unlimited ability to spam VGS, and Anthony is the worst offender. Like I just at the beginning of the game, he just like spams like 30 lines of VGS.
Another one that people have been requesting for someone to take their
Level
shirt
30 skin.
Quite popular request.
Yeah, it's Fernando. Chat, calm down.
Oh,
it's going to be coming
jeez.
through. And
These voice packs.
these voice packs
Yeah,
are
so great.
phenomenal. I think I've used the word phenomenal more today than pretty much any other day in my
So
life.
his
but
flamethrower,
think
is it
it's
gonna be a
continue that
water
way. I also love
thrower?
like the shield looks amazing. I love his tattoos,
Oh,
as
dear.
well as the water fire.
Yeah, again.
Water fire makes absolutely
This was a
zero
difficult weapon
sense
to kind
though,
of
but oh well.
translate.
Through, but it
Because
looks
you can't.
awesome. And again,
I mean,
it
you're throwing
sounds
water,
amazing.
but they're on fire.
The only way I can describe it is like
Listen,
thumb
oh,
at the end
this
of
is
the
weird.
hose kind of
Yeah.
spray.
I don't know how this works really.
Heart that says mom on it. Like either one's perfect.
His gun literally doesn't even make sense.
Fernando even has a tattoo on him that was fan suggested that we ultimately included.
What about his
in
fireball
the final
thing?
Model of Lobby.
Show me that bomb
But
thing.
yeah, again, this was another skin we did with a lot of fan feedback.
Use your
a lot of
2,
fun
man.
Getting everyone's input. And everyone really
2?
loved
No,
them.
1. Use
We
your
were
1.
actually
2 is the dash, my bad.
because I was a little nervous trying to go the Harrier route initially.
Oh, is it?
and that was
Wait,
one
I
of
don't
the
know.
funnier aspects we got from fan feedback. They wanted
I'm lost.
Harry-chested Fernando.
There it is.
They got it.
They got it. There you go. The level 50 skin, which I think is going to be the one. I think I've seen this one maybe teased
Is
a
this the
little
Eevee
bit,
one?
but I think I'm more excited for this because I play a lot of Leon. It's going to be
Yeah.
the short patrol
Oh, it's
Leon
Leon.
skin coming
Oh
through.
wow, okay.
Again, the first thing I'm
didn't even know
drawn
this
to
was
is
a
I
thing.
love the hair, but a harpoon gun this time instead
Harpoon
of
gun.
typical water gun.
I became a lifeguard so I wouldn't drown in the tears of all
Oh
the players
Jesus,
I've
the
nailed.
booty though. They've really put emphasis on it.
That's
Thick.
all.
The entire chat's like thick.
She's a scary lifeguard.
She's a
Yeah,
scary
I don't know
lifeguard.
if I want to be rescued.
When the first line you hear is like, "Just guard yourselves," like
That
I'm
gun
like,
is cool.
She's gonna be taking a nap. She's not there to save you. She's just there to clock the hours and get paid.
She's got a harpoon. She has a knife.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
There you go. Oh, it looks. Oh, I don't like it in
love
first
playing with
person.
This weapon, by the way, it feels really good to play with.
The spin effect.
But it does sound
as
cool.
well on the charge up shot. Like that's just.
And the shots are cool.
It's got
Sound
and
effect
like,
is cool.
I guess for the other ones, it's impressive to have like the water sounds to have
Yeah.
have those shots come through. But for this one, it was like get something meteor,
More
like,
steam powered.
being able to come through. Of course, gonna get
Oh,
rid of her
yeah.
old
I like
self. She
that.
got the haircut
The slide is great.
fresh
I
for
love
this as
the
well.
water
Like,
slide is
You
cool.
know, it's
Oh,
beach
the
time. You gotta
effects.
make sure the long hair.
Nice.
That's really good
Yeah.
sound on that ult too. It just
Again.
sounds like a massive water.
And like,
Go aggro.
it's weird to say this because it always sounds like an ult, but that sounds like an ult, right? Like
Real-
it comes through
real
and like
strong.
there's no mistaking what
Yeah.
just went through flying around.
Yeah.
This guy
And
cannot
since a
aim.
lot of people- This is perfect considering he has good weapon sounds for someone
You
who
can see what he's
fires as
going
much
for,
as
but he
Leon
ain't
does.
hitting any shots, dude.
We made a few
Even with an
changes
auto-aim
for,
champion.
some of
I'm
the
shook.
here. Her reload's
Ready.
a little different than her standard.
I think we have the splash art for
Yep.
those, so we can kind of. I don't know if
Yeah.
we want to cycle through splash art, turnaround, splash art, turnaround. If we just want to do splash art, splash art, splash art, gonna do splash art, turnaround. So that's gonna be the recolor for it. You can see a nice blue coming through.
Maybe you like this one instead.
You can come through. There's gonna be the Leon one. You're gonna be rocking.
Nah,
the
red is better than
bright
yellow any day.
I'm actually a big fan of this Leon.
It's also going to have Fernando and Koga. I don't know which one's up next. There's going to be
Yeah.
Fernando. So wearing the white trunks this time around.
The white trunks I think are better than the
Admittedly, there's not a
red
lot
ones
of
he was
Fernando
wearing.
to recolor.
And then there's Koga. Once again,
Is that a
coming through.
recolor?
I just now I'm looking at the details. I'm
Those
less
trunks.
distracted by how great Koga looks without his
Yeah.
shirt. And again, seeing how many people are looking at it.
Yeah.
At him. With that, there's also a couple other skins that are coming into this one. Not in the battle pass this time around, but gold skins that are going to be coming through for two champions that I think everyone's going to be excited for, because now they're getting, I guess, doubled down.
Yeah.
So one's Kinessa and one's Leon. Oh, that looks so good.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
that looks
Kind of
awesome.
cool, actually.
All right, I've got a new skin. I'm good.
Kinessa's getting a lot of love this patch.
Yeah.
She deserves it. I love Kinessa. That looks so fantastic. And then there's Leon.
Nice. I like the
I
Leon
love-
one a lot. That's really cool.
This is like probably a really weird question. I don't know even how this would come about, but like, how do you decide which parts are going to be like golden cloth or like the black cloth?
We used to at one point kind of really push for a lot of presents kind of like black cloth versus golden cloth, but I think over time we're just dialing up the gold more than ever. We find a lot of people just really like things shiny, and it does feel more of that mastery, like I'm just decked out head to toe in as much gold as possible. So we try to minimize the level of black present in the masteries now.
I don't know, I do like the black on the gold, though. It does look
really
nice.
It tends to really amplify like the quality.
Yeah.
Wonderbrush pointed out that
Wait,
it's
what
not
about the-
technically the first wolf in Paladins.
The Prime?
'cause
Twitch
we have Full
Prime?
Moon Victor.
We do have Full Moon Victor.
Yeah, full
But the
moon
first
Victor.
wolf
I mean, like the
mount,
Twitch Prime
you can see
thing is like a
really
tiger
awesome.
thing, though. That's
This
kind
will
of
be
the same.
available as a DLC during the kind of mid-patch, similar to how we have
Wolf
been
and tiger,
doing
slightly
DLC
different,
in the
but
past. It's
you
going to be
get it.
available August 14th for $9.99, and you will get 200 crystals with it as well.
August.
And if I remember correctly, 200 crystals is what, $4.99, around
Yeah,
$5.
it's around
So
$5.
you're essentially spending $5 for an awesome new mount to be able to come through, which is a perfect
Awesome new
company.
mount.
You
I
can
don't
see
know
right
if that
there.
was the word I'd
The
use.
first
He doesn't
wolf,
look very
and it
wolfy.
looks
Looks more
fantastic.
werewolfy.
Like you said,
Like-
it's going to be coming a little.
Yeah, specifically 20 champions before today, actually, it's available now, did not have direct purchase skins, and we're going to change that, and they're all epic level or higher skins. These are incredible skins. A couple
They're
of them
really
are
good.
pretty recent. I'm just going to run through the list, so forgive me while I do that. So Legionnaire Atlas, Exarch Genos, Renegade Lex, Omega Dredge, Nightmare Fernando, Aurora Furia, Grobot, Iron Madam Inara, Overlord Khan, Battlesuit Eagle-Eye Kinessa, Omega Koga, High Elf Leon, Cuddly Makoa, Shadow Lord Maldamba, Cuddly Moji, Mercenary Strix, Trick or Treat Talus, Omega Terminus, Dark Lord Torvald, Archangel Tyra, Omega Vivian, and Omega Zen. So those are all really
I want the
cool
Furia
skins,
one,
pretty
but I feel
recent
like it's going to
skins
cost
too.
you an arm and a leg.
They are going to be priced at 800
If it's gonna be direct
crystals each. You'll
passage.
be able to pick those up.
800?
They are priced a little bit higher
Fucking
than our other
hell.
direct purchasable skins because they are of higher quality, and they're also
Oh,
directly
yeah.
purchasable. So if they are in a chest or an event, we're able
Fuck
to sell those for
yeah. No offense, but
cheaper,
jeez.
because, they're
800 gems
directly
for a
purchasable,
single
they're expensive.
skin?
But we think they're
Ouch.
worth it. They're
Yeah.
really cool.
And Sal, anyone who
I don't
happens
think
to
so.
main, well, let's say just one of those champions, and you didn't have a
That's
skin
preying
before,
on
you are
people
going to
with
be
like
able to go
addiction,
forward
that
with
is,
it.
in a way.
Now is the time, everyone. Now is what you have been waiting for. The reason
gems is
we have a
crazy.
wig on Kevin right now, the reason we all convened, and that is that we have a new champion coming out, and that is going to be Io.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm going to shut up so I can watch this.
We watched you for eons, waiting, dreaming of the day we might meet. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Pieces of us hurtled toward your embrace, along with something else. The darkness. We were broken, unwhole, unworthy of your servant's kindness. But to see them broken too, they do not deserve this. We do not wish
Let's
to
get
fight,
this.
but we will do what we must.
Look at these, I have two
There's still
hands.
hope left.
Yeah, this is always the funniest part, man. Oh my god.
And so I am here. So no more.
Io's
will we
Bay. Look at that. What an amazing character. I'm all about it. I arrived July.
I'm going to double down and say yes, I absolutely think you could rock the outfit.
Really? This hair is
bringing it
way
back.
longer than I thought, too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it goes pretty far down.
Sarah's going to have a fun time with this. It's already all over my shirt.
But everything coming through. I think we're starting to see potentially why a lot of the last couple of, the Bazaar, when we saw Shattered Desert, there's a little bit more to do with the moon, little fox statues all over the map.
I love, people are already, like I've been keeping up with the Reddit and people's theories about Io. And, going back to Shattered Desert with the little spirit fox running around the tree in the spawn, someone's like, I think a week into it, someone made a post about like what it could be, alluding to Io, and then obviously we released Bazaar. We had the full statue of Io like sat there in the center. People finally got a glimpse of the Shattered Goddess herself. So I'm really excited about Io, and I hope you guys will love her.
I think you will. I think we actually do have like the splash art. Obviously, you just got to see her in the cinematic, but you can kind of see again the freeze frame, soak it all in. Her as well as her fox standing right next to her. And we also have the turnaround and the voice pack to be able to kind of listen to that, and then we can dive more into her lore.
Yes, show me.
Even the smallest being can alter the course of the future. I once knew a joke, but now, how did it go?
That bow is huge.
Our light encompasses all.
The battle is about to begin.
So
she's the best.
I'm missing the long braids, but
yes.
Admittedly, as I've learned with a wife that cosplays, braids on wigs make them obnoschly heavy. So it's probably for the better right now.
Yeah, Sarah made this headpiece. She's making this full cosplay, I believe, for HRX. She made this in the last 2 days. And it took her like 16 hours. So she dedicated a lot of time to get this for me for Patch Note Show. So here's Io.
Yeah.
That's a cute little character.
Where are we starting?
I'm gonna throw it out. She is a support.
Yes.
And I think like all the stuff like her health, the abilities we can go into, but just the backstory. Who is Io? Why is she here?
So yeah, if you listen to the lore video right there,
Io actually doesn't look that big when you're using
the moon goddess, basically the moon herself.
Fucking awesome.
And then an unknown corruption collides with the moon and shatters the moon, and obviously because Io is the moon and the moon goddess, shattered along with it. And that's how you have both Io and her fox Luna. They're essentially the representations of the moon in Paladins. And there's been people that have worshipped this moon goddess Io for eons and eons and eons. And now that the magistrate has kind of marched onto the moon shards and Shattered Desert and the people of Bazaar, Io has come back to defend her people.
Do you buff
and take her rightful place as the moon goddess?
And so, as was said, anyone who is a support main, rejoice because you are getting a new support to be able to come through and play, which I think just on base should be exciting. But I think going into who she is, what she does, is going to be even more impressive. But just going to
they're doing a lot of setup here. What's going on?
In the bottom left, she does have a card right now increasing her health. Her base health is 2,200, and so going to be a support, still on the lower end, a little easier to kill off, but not the weakest champion. He still holds that title.
Yeah, she has standard support health, the normalized 2,200. So. She is going to be just as killable as any other support in the game, but obviously you can modify that through a health card.
And you also will be able to modify that through some of the abilities we'll get to later, but the first one that you see obviously might recognize it if you've been playing the game for a long time as well, or at least in essence of what it is, but is the light bow.
So this is the light bow. It has no fall off and it fires 400 damage crescent.
Nice, 400 damage. That's not bad actually. That's quite a lot for a support, like straight up.
This is support that
it's quite a good fire rate as well.
Obviously, not really deal a ton of damage, but it's very consistent.
Don't worry though.
Yeah.
Plus some playtesting can't aim.
Maldamba,
even
slightly
with
slower, and it doesn't have the arc. And with no fall off, you can
baffles me how
actually
people can't
do
aim with mouse.
Good amount of assist damage to help secure teams for your kill.
I'd argue it's the scariest kind of damage.
Does that fall off? I can't
just
see.
Low enough that you're not going to register it.
Yep.
But
it's at 400 with no fall off.
You're the one dealing it. Like you're gonna notice if I hit 4 shots, that's 1,600. But if you're getting hit 400 every now and then, you might be able to glance over it. But she comes through, so has a little bit of damage and a little bit of bite to her. And then her alt fire is going to be where her heal is. It's going to be the Moonlight.
Yes, so Moonlight, I was going to hold and channel Moonlight into an ally, healing them for 135 every 0.15 seconds. This is
an enemy
first
playtester
healing resource.
She just jumped, I think.
Really resource champion.
Yeah.
That their entire heal is dedicated on that. So you're going to see, this is a little bit similar to Ceres when you start to aim. So you actually have to look at your target and hit them, and then once you're connected to your ally, you're actually able to get a little bit more leeway to look away. If you just want to move slower.
Okay, but you have to look at them still.
So connect the heal and look a little bit to the left. You can see that it will...
That's cool, though. I do like that.
Anthony, go a little bit slower. Yeah, and you can see you connect to him, and then move it slowly to the right until you break it.
Okay, you still have to sort of look at them.
A little bit of leeway on either side that you can kind of look around. So it's not precision, but you still have to be in the area.
It's important to note that it's precision to initiate it, so players can select their targets with refinement when a lot's going on. But then you connect to the player, and you get a lot more leeway to move left or right.
I like that.
Important to note too, if you actually break that threshold of how far you can turn left or right, you'll reattach if another player is in the area. So you can see it kind of jump here if we get energy filled up a little bit more.
Need that, and that's actually the other thing. You can look at it here.
Yeah.
You have that moonlight bar.
Ah, okay, yeah. I like that.
Cannot heal if it's empty, so you're going to have to kind of use your heal a little more safely.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to pay attention.
I think that's more of a skill gap.
The important part about a
because
resource healer too is that once you're initiating the heal, you have to retain on it. So a lot of the heals in our game are just like point and click.
Not gonna be good.
I'm going to initiate it, and I can go immediately to damage. So I
400 damage. Whoa! What?
That's not intentional. So we will get that one fixed. We have a long PTS.
What
did not mean that. I've never
There's already
seen
a bug.
So make sure to play her on PTS and give us your bug reports and feedback. But she is going to have to choose between like sticking and healing on an ally or trying to fight them and use other abilities, because it's not just, okay, I've used my heal, now I can go back to using my other abilities. It's an active choice for the IO player to have to make decisions mid-fight on what's the best course of action.
And there she is in the emote. Now I feel confident being able to go forward with it. I wanted to make sure he wasn't locked out.
Yes.
But we brought Blue onto the show, and not just because it's always awesome to have a puppy come through and be on the show, and though I do know that I'm going to gloat to F. about that later. But
Legit thought they meant Blue, as in
Blue was a voice for the game.
Yes, Blue is actually the voice actress for your pet fox, Luna.
Your guardian spirit.
Your guardian spirit. So this ability is called Guardian Spirit. You summon Luna to fight alongside you. She will also rush and stun enemies that have been marked by her light bow every 15 seconds. And then she can be resummoned to a new location every 8 seconds. So this is...
What the hell happened?
Oh yeah, that's the death stance. It's called
Oh
Grilled,
my god.
So have fun. So the big thing about this is you know, we wanted to make a pet tamer. Because we don't have a character that actually generates a pet or controls them. But having the pet kind of run wild in our world can get a little bit messy.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to make this specific pet stay in one location.
Follows you, huh?
When you use it, but feel alive. So you can see we put a lot of effort, and shout outs to the animation and our tech artist who put a lot of effort into Luna to make her feel alive and active, right? She floats. She feels almost like a character. She's very obvious. So this isn't something that players should ignore. I think it's important to note that. Like, her design is based around her both having this channeled heal and also controlling this fox and moving it around.
Can they capture the point?
It's an
oh my god, it can capture the
cooldown,
point.
Actually, to first deploy her. And then when she
can
dies,
capture the
it's another
point?
18 seconds. But every 8 seconds, you can move her around, which you're seeing Anthony do right now.
And not only are you seeing that, but that she's also one of the, I guess, I don't know if it counts as deployable pet, I guess is the best way to word it, but can capture the objective. You can leave Luna on the point.
So part of making this character feel alive is giving
how much
her
HP
the
does it
ability
have?
to actually capture objectives, which in playtest has been very interesting. We've had people drop Luna on the point and then go on the siege engine and then go off and fight others. We've seen her just contest, right? Just drop and contest.
Yeah,
you know,
can you put them on the siege
99. Sometimes Luna can buy you that extra time. She has 3,500 health at base, and she does not disappear after time. There's no time limit on Luna. You only kill.
3,500 HP.
She also has out-of-combat healing, so if players stop focusing her, she'll start to regenerate her health. In addition to that, she is affected by Bulldozer. She is a pet similar to Amani's Dragon, which is how we modified what Bulldozer did when Amani released.
Man, this is the year of Bulldozer. Like it went from being like
it doesn't last that long.
Almost no reason to buy it unless they happen to stack up and Nara, Barrick, and Ying on one team to that item is 100% worthwhile. coming through here, and I think that's going to be interesting. Because, like you said, cooldown is very large, yet it does die off. So, as the Luna player, or
180.
As the IO player, you have to keep track of your health bar, not only yours, not only your teammates, but also wherever you happen to leave your pet.
And can we actually take a look at Luna's attacks? I don't think I mentioned it, but she actually has an attack chain. So it's a light, heavy attack chain. So it's a little bit of damage into a hard hit at the end. What's really cool that I like about this is that she has a little bit of intelligent tech with her that she will actually focus the player that Luna has that Io has marked last. So you can see the stun is also only initiated through this, and it has a 15-second timer. You have a quick little glance at the bottom left-hand of your screen. We have a Luna icon that's really just there for you to glance and see the cooldown. You see once it comes up, it flashes. The player on the receiving end of this gets a very unique tell. They have like a grumble style indicator, so we want to make it obvious to players. And you're just going to be moving Luna around through the world. You could see this aura. We haven't mentioned this aura around her. This is actually her first talent. So the first talent, her default lifelink, actually grants an AoE healing aura.
Yeah.
So that's why you're seeing that aura. It won't be there by default.
Yeah, so that's going to be something that you can choose or change. Of course, I think everything already in this kit, I'm going to say that this is very, very heavy. Like the players that are like cognizant are going to be so amazing. Like I'm excited for IO highlights because I want to see what is going to be accomplished with her.
That's one of the big things I wanted to
can't wait for
bring
that
into this champion specifically is I wanted it to feel like a player could jump in and play IO and it feel easy and they feel effective, right? Like look at the character, look at an ally, hold the heal. You are attached to them. You get a little bit more leniency on left or right. You can kind of wave over your allies and switch targets very friendly. But you can also disengage the heal and then re-engage because it goes back to that direct trace. And so
they're going to have cards, right, for the heal they must do. Or legendary, like more heal
Luna,
with your actual heal.
Right? You just place her and she can be useful. She's going to attack people. She'll heal allies if you're using that talent. But really good players can be intelligent with her, like hide her around corners, move her. We actually have one of our better players in our playtest was playing a very interesting flank IO style, where what he would do is he would actually place Luna behind a wall, and then he would actually be fighting people and mark them, and then move Luna to them, so once Luna got to the location, they would immediately initiate the stun. So there's a lot of small, intricate things you can do, and I think at base, you're just going to have this thing be able to aid your team naturally.
And that, she just blows it out of the park. Like, this is amazing already. And again, there's still 2 more abilities. One of them, admittedly, compared to the rest of the kit, there's not as much that you need to know about it, and that is actually the next one. The Lunar Leap, it's a backflip. It's a get me out of here, I need to be safe.
So this actually, this ability doesn't do any like damage or effect. This is strictly an ability for you to get away quickly. She has a number of cards with this. You can see the shield on top of it.
Yeah.
And I think we have the Skywalker card equipped right there too.
That's cool. You can shoot.
So there's a card that actually, as you're firing your light bow, you get reduced gravity and air control. So if you want to attach, can we just attach rank 5 of Skywalker? And then this is going to reduce your gravity by a lot.
So you can.
So you're going to be able to carry that momentum a very, very long way.
There it is.
There it is.
You're still going.
Yep.
And, you know, on Bazaar, there's not as much, I want to say, high ground. Like, right there, I think it's more noticeable. But, like, when you're looking at a map like, let's say, Timber Mill, even though it's getting, I think, taken out of the ranked rotation, like, you're playing this in casuals, you just backflip from building to building. Like, you're just all of a sudden on the other side of the map.
And you're going to be pretty vulnerable, right? So I think a lot of people have been more experimental
with his cans. You're going to get wrecked.
The big point is, like, with your backflip, you can carry your momentum a little bit, get further away.
Although he has shield on there,
reposition
right?
yourself, control yourself around corners. And this is important to note, this card only works while firing, right? So there's a limited time.
He must have a card ran that where he jumps, he's got a bit of shield, because look at his HP.
Does this with her heal as well. It's called Moonwalk. So you can be healing backflip, and then also just continue to heal while carrying your momentum and flying through the sky.
So a lot of stuff that, like you said, can kind of augment this Lunar Leap to make it more than just a Lunar Leap. It can be a little more.
Yeah, and you also don't interrupt your heal when you Lunar Leap. So if, Anthony, if you can show just if you're healing someone and then you backflip, you can continue healing them. I think that's very important. to not break her heal in that instance.
So that
how
way you can
much range
still
does that heal
disengage,
have?
but
I wonder.
be effective in the fight.
Yep.
Like
Can
you're
you heal
not
someone
taking
across
yourself
from
out
that?
of the
'Cause that's
fight
quite far
fully.
there,
You're still
kind
gonna
of.
have
And
some
we're not
impact.
kicking you to 3P either,
Yeah.
so you can kind of get that like I'm doing this backwards fade away, like firing my bow or healing an ally.
Again, the montages. They
Montage.
are
This
character's
is
been built for
champion the montage.
it. Champion the montage.
Or montage the champion. I reversed that.
And now we have one more. You can see it in the bottom right of the screen. The ultimate, and it's called Be Gone.
Be Gone. So
Wait, so that
IO
pet thing
projects
isn't
an
her
aerial
own?
manifestation of Luna.
What
Sends
the-
it forward. Enemies caught will be pulled along the travel path, and they'll take 800 damage when it collides with the wall. So this ability can actually ride both the ground and ramps, which is an important part of it. We were kind of looking like what did we not have?
Okay.
In an ultimate, and we really didn't have anything that carried players for a support, right? We have Genos that's like line beam damage.
Be gone.
We have Ceres that's like deployable, pull players in. We have Maldamba Sphere that's like
Push players
out, but we don't have like grab and reposition. And so we've had a number of very interesting play tests with this ability, right? This is an ability that can strengthen depending on map, right? You can like fire people off edges. I know Rafe actually, I've seen him do some really nasty stuff on Fish Market as players are trying to push.
Yeah.
So this is an ability that has, I think, a wide range.
How far does the heal reach? Exactly,
and
yeah.
Kind of like,
Yeah, if that
it's a
wasn't
weird
shit.
way to
Yes.
describe it, but if you want to, like,
It's one of those,
anytime that
though.
you would have seen a Torvald ult that could be effective, this can kind of hit the same place. It's a little harder to connect, but also a little easier to connect at the same
Did
time.
they say PTS is out?
So again, riding that thin
might try it
line
myself.
of awesome.
Yep. And you have full control of positioning toast, so you can fire it, and then it doesn't actually fire, so you can re-aim after you've started the channel if you would like to.
Okay.
If we can, I don't know if Anthony showed that off already. Yeah. So you can reposition, doesn't fire until you actually launch it. You can ride up ramps. Can you actually ride it up one of the ramps there, Anthony, too? Oh,
okay.
So good.
So I'm
I love
already,
this ult.
again, I'm seeing a backflip 360 ult push kill
Yes.
5 people. Like if you manage that play at any point, either on PTS or on live, I want to see it. Like I want clips.
I'm very, very happy with how this champion has come out, and I really want to give another shout out to like our animation, VFX, and tech art team specifically. Like they put a lot of work into refining this.
Oh, it
right?
hits
Like
walls,
the
though.
VFX are amazing. I love moving Luna around. Her
it does
stun
damage a
feels
lot,
fluid.
actually.
I don't know if we saw it, but Luna's stun actually does like she stuns the player and then actually does a backflip animation kickoff.
Yeah.
And then like travels back into the wisp form. Just moving her around feels super fluid. And I think we have a number of cards too that let you. We tried to get a play your way style into it.
And I forgot I had more I needed to talk about because we haven't even talked about the talents.
Sorry, I've been really.
forgotten about.
I have been anxious about this character for so long, just wanting to show her
And it's
off.
just there's just so many cool things in all of the abilities that it's fun to be able to dive in depth with them. But there is still more that we have to cover
There's
with
more.
her, and that is, like you said, default is this lifelink talent, which is the AOE heal.
Yes, so it's 300 health per second. AOE heal. It's I believe a 20 or 30 foot radius, so much significantly smaller than Grover, but has the same properties that it's going to go through wall. But players need to be obviously much closer to IO, or I'm sorry, the Luna to receive
Luna.
that benefit.
And then the next talent, the one that you would unlock at level 2, is going to be called Goddess's Blessing.
Yeah, so we have the AOE heal talent, and then we wanted a.
Ooh, wow,
we really
okay.
wanted a pocket. I wanted a pocket
That's a good
talent
one.
that allowed players to be like, okay, I'm going to just like benefit this one person. So Goddess's Blessing.
Yeah,
Allies
how
being
to
healed by
counter
Moonlight
Janus.
receive 15% reduced damage. We also have a card that increases allies being healed. Movement speed, so I think there's some cool combos to do that. So really, if you have like one primary tank that you're trying to keep alive, you can sit there and channel not only healing to them, but also damage reduction. So that's a very strong combination.
You thought Inara was hard to kill before.
Yeah.
Let's see how she does now.
Here's a Cassie getting
Oh my
healed.
god, yeah, Nara
Yeah,
with
and you
that.
can see like
Oof.
the difference in how much those arrows are chunking with and without the
Correct.
heal. But then coming forward, there's one more talent at level 8 called Sacrifice.
Yeah, and then we wanted a little bit of a greedy talent for Io herself. We wanted something that allowed her to stay
It,
alive.
Io. You mean
in
Nerf, right?
situations like, oh, I'm against multiple flanks, I want to get dove a lot. How do I stay alive? So Sacrifice. If Io falls
Wow,
below 200
okay.
health while Luna is
Sacrifice,
active, she has to be
wow.
active.
Oh my god,
She
feels
trades
bad.
places
Why
with
would they
Luna heals
do
and-
that? Oh
It's
my
the saddest
God.
talent, but
That
it's
is-
really good.
And incredibly selfish.
Also, don't know me, Anthony. I will say it is some of the it's a very sad death sound of the fox. It is very sad. I hope you all get attached to Luna.
Well, hey, you know what?
No one's gonna play this.
That works even better
talent.
because now people like they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hurt the fox, so they're going to be like, well, I mean, we're not gonna do it. Like we can't kill Luna. Sorry guys. Like, we're just gonna.
You're gonna spray your own Luna's death.
Oh, it feels bad.
Yeah, so sacrifice, it's got a 60-second internal cooldown too, so this is not going to happen every time.
Yeah.
And then when she trade places, she can heal. For players that are looking for counters for this, she's got that delay. You're going to be able to see where she goes, so you get a little bit of read on it. Again, like, there's a lot of strategies with how to play, I think, Io, right? So, like, sacrifice, like, hiding Luna in a room, so in case a flank yanks you, right? Because you're not going to get that AoE heal, but you still have powerful in-hands, you have powerful heal. You can bring Luna into stun players, and then, like, if she's off to the side, you can trade places with her when you would take a killing blow, basically.
And keeps you alive, keeps you safe.
Yes.
But again, like you said, it's a little more selfish overall. And it's perfect because you have the AoE heal, like I'm going to be your healer. You've got the pocket, I'm going to keep my tank alive.
Yep.
And you've got the, I don't care about you guys.
I'm
keeping me alive.
Yeah,
like,
this was actually the
you guys
talent.
Get out of here.
This was actually the talent that one of our better players in our playtest was using for the flank IO. Which was pretty effective. You had to really think about it.
I can imagine, like...
It took me a second. I'm like, oh, man, he's really using that, the sacrifice talent. He's making good use of it, right? You kind of have to play around Io a little bit differently when she has that.
It's going to be fun to see. Again, all I can think of now is just the amount of plays that Io can make. Like, there's so many cool ones. And again, like you said earlier, on paper, like, you initially play Io, everything works the way it's intended. It's like a textbook right on there on paper. Then it gets more in depth as you learn more about it. And we do also have, I think, some of the recolors, like the Mastery skin that came through.
Oh my god.
Skin. Oh, that looks really good. I'm distracted by her headdress and, well, Luna.
Golden Luna too. That's what I like.
Golden Luna's sick.
Screams, look at me. But, I mean, coming forward again, I guess we looked at some of the golden skins earlier, and now we can see it in game.
Oh my god, the golden and
awesome.
black hair. That is
one of my
awesome.
favorite golden skins.
That's actually amazing. Holy shit.
This is my first champion. But
I don't think.
What a coincidence.
This is my favorite champion. It's the best. The greatest champion ever made. That's what I said in the office until people got annoyed with me.
I mean, I talked about it a little bit.
That is cool. I love the golden one, man.
Concept for us.
Is she legal? Oh my
We
god.
always land somewhere good, but
Come on, chat.
just kind
Ain't
of
about that life.
so quickly. It was kind
What
of
happened
crazy.
there? Why was
Just
that
hit,
confetti?
the sketch, and the group looked at it. And we're like, yeah, well, that's Io. We're making this. Just go.
Yeah, let's just go.
This is also the first champion that we've been able to show our AOC from like initial concept and like
all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through.
Oh, that's the recolor. Nice.
Love her. So.
And I believe that's the recolor there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
This is a recolor.
Feral Io.
You got the voice pack?
I love
an orange look.
I was gonna say orange and blue it's another color combination that almost it never fails.
Yep.
And then
is that another
season pass?
Yeah.
So very much in line
nice.
with the Amani skins and the others that have come out.
Silver.
This is Starfall, only available in the season pass, so limited to players who purchase it. This is actually, I really love this skin a lot.
Well, I mean, I'm going to straight up just buy it for that.
Matches.
I forgot I'm
Honestly.
I couldn't
God damn.
if you loved it or not.
After a while, it's
I just like was natural. I completely forgot that I'm in this, and I just see myself on screen.
This is the point where normally I would say when is like the goal for PTS, like
Yep.
when will people be able to finally like get their hands on IO and play her?
Yeah, we're looking before Friday is always our goal, and that's the goal that we've hit pretty much every single time with PTS. So before Friday, guys, we'll have it out before the weekend.
You can use IO either way. Thank you from myself, from everyone here, from everyone at Skillshot. We'll talk to you next time.
Alright, well, goddamn. That was that. That was over an hour and 20 minutes. God fucking damn it. Jesus, IO is amazing, so I'm going to be maining IO. Can't wait for the PTS. Did it say it was the weekend? Something on the weekend. I think that's when PTS is going to go live or whatever. So I'll be trying out IO then. Might make a video then as well. Hope everyone enjoyed. Goodbye.